Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony, and with me I have my co-host, Tommy the Bargain Effect. We have Kelly Hip Flippin' Mama as a special guest today, and we have Nate, Everyday I'm Hustling. You guys probably know him by now. So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, we'll start with our guests. Start with Kelly.
Hi guys, I'm Kelly, aka Hip Flippin' Mama, aka Mama. I have a top-rated eBay store, and I do jewelry auctions every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I do Bible study with Anthony every Tuesday at 2.
Yep, sure do.
Cool.
How about you, Nate?
Hey everyone, it's Nate. Every day I'm hustling. I sell on Amazon and eBay, and I'm excited today. I made an merchant sale from a bin spine that I'm excited about. So today's a
Awesome.
fantabulous day.
Fantabulous. I like that.
I like that word.
Fantabulous.
We got my co-host Tommy over there, the product relocation specialist.
Yeah, just your average everyday flipper, man. Just buying anywhere and anywhere I can buy lower and sell for a profit online. That's the whole brush of what I do.
True flipper.
And you guys know me, you're on my channel. You know, I like to mainly sell on eBay. I do Mercari, I do Poshmark. I'm getting into Amazon as soon as they'll approve me. And, you know, I do a little bit of everything. I'll sell basically anything. You know, I have everything from toys, video games, all the way to baby diapers, adult diapers, whatever kind of crap, literally, that I can get into. So I do a lot of yard sales, estate sales. Goodwill bids is like the big thing for me this time of year. I should be getting into a lot of RA with Amazon starting it up, so should be a good time, guys. I want to go ahead and say hello to some people. Brownie points today go to Jamie, Rump Stump Reseller. She's the first one in chat. Good to see you. Followed by Justin Jacobs. What's up, Justin? Good to see you, buddy. You did a good job last night on the auction. Myra Elaine, good morning to you. Land Shark Picker. What's up, Craig? Good to see you, bud. Tease Flips, good morning. Michelle Lathan, good morning to you as well. Reseller Man, what's up, bud? Good to see you today. Moronic Best, what's going on? DC Sales, the master of the license plates with us. Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward. What's up, Kelly? Diane Matthews, good morning to you, Diane. John over at Dad's Vintage Garage, all the way from Virginia. Steven Scroggins, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. I believe from Kentucky. Damn flipping crooters. Good as Tommy. Up Rebecca. We've got Destiny, the Shamrock Pixie. What's up, Des? Good to see you.
Nobody can do it like Tommy. Do it, Tommy.
Them flipping crooters.
Paul, Gate City Picker. What's up, bud? Neville, what's going on? All the way from Australia. We have Tracy with us. Uniquely me. Good to see you, Tracy. Glad you're here. Anna Morris with us. What's going on?
Mora.
So you get the original song this morning.
Yes.
Get the trendsetter with us, Miss Hip Flip Mama.
It all started with me. Yes, it did.
So yeah, just thanks everyone for being here. If you're here and you haven't said anything, feel free to say hello so we can greet you. If not, no big deal. But today, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about, can you run a business with any kind of disability or any kind of handicap? You know, whether that be physical, mental, emotional. You know, is it possible to run a successful business dealing with some type of disability? And I thought this would be a good topic for today, especially having Kelly with us, because she struggles with chronic pain, much like myself. So I thought it would be a fitting topic. I know there's a lot of people in the resale community, like myself, that have kind of got into this out of necessity because of any kind of struggles you deal with or whatnot. So Yeah, let's talk about that today. I look forward to some good chat interaction today, and I look forward to getting to learn a little bit more about each of your journeys. You know, why you're kind of doing the reselling, if there's some kind of limitation you have that prohibits you from scaling it bigger, or what you've found that kind of helps you in regard to getting past that handicap or that disability that's kind of that would stop the regular person from, you know, kind of doing stuff. But we kind of got that hustler DNA.
That was a really good point that you brought up, Anthony, as far as mental, emotional, physical. I was dumbfounded by the number of people I found when I entered the reselling community on YouTube. How many people actually were doing this because of physical disabilities or emotional disabilities or mental disabilities, and it completely shocked me. I was completely shocked at the number of, there were more people that were doing this because of ailments than not. And, I was really, really shocked. And yet I was thrown into a family of people that were like me. And that was very warming and comforting. Because there are so many people out there that do this because they just can't hold a full-time job.
Yeah.
Or it's difficult.
I agree. And that's the main thing for me. And just sharing kind of my background and my story. Like, I've had a lot of people get a hold of me and basically say, hey, I'm in the same position and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm making notes for prayers later today. So
okay, awesome. So Dee has a question. She says, good question. What are your workarounds? Do you have any plan for things you can do when you're having a bad pain day? So yeah, I do. Typically, if I'm having a bad pain day, I pretty much have to lay down. That's pretty much the only time I get relief. So if I'm laying down, I can't take pictures. I can't list for the most part. So what I'll do is I'll purposely, when I'm feeling good, I'll take extra pictures. So that way I can list from my phone while I'm laying down, and I'll just keep them in my phone till, it's almost like saving money for a rainy day type thing. So I'll keep pictures there. But what I do most times when I'm not feeling well is that's when I take the advantage of cross-posting. I'll toss stuff up on Mercari. I'll toss stuff up on Poshmark. I'll use that opportunity to scour the internet to find, deals and stuff like that I can set up for sourcing and all that. So, yeah, I do try to take full advantage of the time where I can't physically be down here working. So it's really just something I have to build into what I do whenever I am feeling well. But it does limit me in what I can potentially do. So that's a great question. I don't know if there's any other workarounds that anyone else here does. I know, Tommy, you might be able to, since Destiny's not with us, and she's been open about her struggles with mental health, and with you guys now running a t-shirt business, and her helping you with the cross posting and sourcing and stuff you do for your eBay and Mercari and all that. Maybe you could kind of speak to in proxy of some things you've seen Destiny do in that case, when she's having a bad mental health day.
Yeah. Well, what I've actually found is, since she started this printing thing and working on that she is so focused and zoned into that she don't have nearly as many bad mental health days.
That's good.
It's eaten her time to the point to where she's not. Destiny is the type that always looks at like the worst case scenario of everything. So with her being involved and focusing on the printing and figuring out layouts and how to work the different machines, she doesn't have time to think about situations that don't really matter or be concerned about something that may never happen. So her starting this up has actually helped with her disability.
That's awesome.
Also with her YouTube channel and her starting to talk about it too, I think helped her out as well, because she doesn't have that lonely, I'm the only one feeling. I mean, more and more people have reached out to her and told her that they're dealing with similar to same things, and whatever. When she's going through what I call episodes or whatever, she just seems to dive deeper. The workaround to help with her disability is to focus more on her projects.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good.
She may tell you something totally different from her aspect, but from what I see from the outside looking in, that's the way I'm taking it or noticing it.
Yeah, for sure. I've noticed that too, because my wife, she'd be open if she was on right now. She struggles with mental health too, and it's been something that she struggled with her whole life. You know, she went through a really bad childhood where she was abused. You know what I mean? She'd been raped, like all kinds of crazy stuff happened to her. So she struggles with it too. So I've noticed with her, she does better when she's busy doing productive things and non-stressful things too. Like, because sometimes, like, she'll come home from the hospital and she'll be flustered because she was the only person on her side of the unit, and she had like 36 patients, and there was like literally no one helping her all day. You know what I mean? But when she comes home from a day at home health where she's, you know, one-on-one with somebody and she really gets to invest in somebody, she, you know, I noticed like a big difference in her mental health on a day like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, reseller man, you're not a bother, man. I don't mind. We'll just take a quick pause. I want to pray for
Mikey.
man's nephew here.
Yeah, his name is Mikey.
Mikey. Okay.
He's in the hospital with a head injury and brain bleeding, and they may lose him.
Oh, my.
Sure. So, Lord, right now in the name of Jesus, I come before you. I lift up Mikey to you, God, and I just ask right now that you would just stop the bleeding to his brain, Lord God. I just ask that you would reverse the effects of this injury to his head, Lord God. And Jesus, I just ask right now, Lord God, that you would even guide the hands of the doctors, the nurses, anybody that is attending to him. I ask that you'd bring peace to the family right now, that your grace would be sufficient, that it would be more than enough to carry them through, God. And I just ask, Lord, right now in the name of Jesus, that you would heal this young boy, Lord God, that you would sustain his life, Lord God. And I just ask that you would receive so much glory to the miracle right now that you are releasing into this family, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Keep me posted too, reseller man. Continue to pray for him and
Yes.
his family too.
And we'll pray for him again at 2:00.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hi, BK.
This is actually probably a good time for me to do a shameless plug, but we are eventually moving the Bible study from this channel, Picksburgh, to actually my original channel that I really never did anything with. It's called Celender Ministries. We're eventually going to move there. It's a little hard to find if you search for it, so I'm going to drop a link for it. But I'll probably change the name to something that's better searchable. But I just dropped the link here. You guys could. We're 7 subscribers away from getting it to 100. When we get it to 100, we'll be able to start using it. So that would be.
And the goal is to take this Bible study that Anthony and I do on Tuesdays, move it over to this channel permanently. So regardless if Anthony can be there or I can be there, it'll always be on that channel. If Anthony's not there, I will log in and run it. And we want to be able to bring you 2 ministries a week. We'll do our Tuesdays at 2:00 always, and then we want to expand to a nighttime Bible study. And then I really, really want to talk Anthony into doing a full-blown sermon on Sundays live. But before we can do any of this, we've got to have 100 subs on that channel. We've been pushing really hard to get those 100 subs so that we can have our ministry completely in one area.
Yeah,
So if you could share that channel or ask your friends and family or your children, they don't necessarily have to follow it, but if they could just subscribe to it, that would be wonderful.
yeah, I'd appreciate it. Be great. So
We're working so hard to get that channel pumped up.
yeah. Justin Jacobs says he found that he had a brain tumor pressing on his cerebellum last fall and had brain surgery in September. It's left him with some permanent damage, but he wants to try his best to make this reselling work. And yeah, I've been talking with Justin since really the very beginning of my channel. He was probably within my first, definitely within the first 100 subscribers, like probably even the first 50. But he has really made great strides in reselling. He was just on our auction last night on Tommy's channel. So
So that's the Justin.
Yep. It's Justin Jacobs.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yep, he's saying he wants to grow his eBay, maybe even start another platform as well. I think that's a great goal, man. And one thing I've noticed about Justin is he's a pretty good picker too, because he'll hit me up when he's out yard selling, or he'll send me pictures of stuff he picks up. You're doing a good job, Justin. So definitely,
he did well on the auction last night.
Yeah, keep your head up, man.
Never even known. You would never have even known. I would never have known.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I said too. Like when I first started talking to him, like I wouldn't even be able to tell any of that unless he had told me. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that.
Reseller Man subscriber 96. We're getting there.
Yep. Thanks, Reseller Man.
You guys are 100 now.
There you go.
What's that?
Hey,
You guys are 100 now.
Woohoo!
Nice.
101 now.
913 or 931 says, "This is awesome. You're great people. I'm glad I found this." Hey, I'm glad you're here selling it. You are always welcome. If you want, you feel free to drop your name and I'll try to remember it. Try to make this more personable. We just lost one.
Anthony, you're 5 away from 900, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Touche.
Anybody
wants to help get us over 900 here. My goal is to get to 1,000 before we go to Disney, because me and Ash want to live stream the parks. So anyone that's not subbed here, please go ahead and do so. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. I want you to be able to live stream too, so I can feel like I'm there with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I clicked over to the Cylinder Ministries on the same tab and knocked myself out. We're at 101, Anthony.
Nice. Thank you, guys. I appreciate
Congratulations.
it.
We need to be at about 115, though, just so we have that cush.
Yeah.
So keep sharing, keep subscribing. And you guys, we appreciate it so much. And when I say we, I mean it's Anthony's channel, but Anthony and I do this together. And when I had the idea to do the Bible study, I thought it would just be you and me and Anthony. And Anthony's like, let's open it up to everybody. So, Anthony and I share it, even though it's going to be on his channel. So I'm just as invested in it as he is. So I get just as excited.
Cool.
Oh, I'm so excited, Anthony.
I should be able to remember that selling it. There's a pastor that I'm really good friends with by the name of Daniel O'Neill. So I should remember that. I think he spells his last name differently, though. But thanks for being here, Daniel. I appreciate it. T's name is Tracy. That should be easy to remember because I'll just think of uniquely me when I see that T. And Reseller Man, is your name David, or am I wrong?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, his name is David.
I just want to make sure I don't misname you something. I do try to make everybody a little more personable. Thanks, Neville. I appreciate it. That's awesome, Justin. He listed a typewriter last night. He already has 2 offers on it this morning.
Wow. I'm so scared of those typewriters because they're so heavy.
Yeah, that was one of my first like estate sale like finds. I got a typewriter, and yeah, it was a little expensive to ship, but it's old. It was an old one, like really old.
I've shipped a couple of typewriters. I didn't have any problems. And I actually shipped it through USPS, so it was even more expensive than the people shipping through FedEx or the post office. But
Yeah, I
it
did the
sold
same
pretty
thing.
quick. It was an older one. They were the same. I sold them twice. Same typewriter, different colors. Now I don't remember what they were, but it was like a briefcase style one.
Yeah, that's how mine was. It was in a case that you just basically pull the top over, but it was a really old one.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what brand it was, but yeah, that was one of the first like decent finds I found at the estate sale.
Nice.
I myself, I love shipping big and heavy stuff because there's a whole lot less competition in it.
Yeah,
I
a lot of
learned
people like
that.
messing with it.
I learned that hanging out with Mark over at Going Twice, because we went sourcing. Like, me and him went to the bins, and here I am picking out all the little stuff, and this dude's like literally got like 4 carts full of like ginormous stuff, and I'm like, dude, like that's gonna be heavy. And he's like, yeah, that's the point. There's like no competition with the heavy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes, if they're paying shipping, who cares?
Exactly.
Tommy, how do you deal with your health issues as far as reselling and sitting for such long periods of time?
I don't. I'm not good at it. You see, a lot of people don't even. I don't talk about it as much as like Destiny talks about it. But I have severe degenerative psoriatic arthritis, so I have like a lot of damage in my bones. I have spinal joints that are fusing, and I can't deal with it. Sitting for hours doesn't work for me. We do this show, and ask Anthony when sometimes we hang around after the show, and I'm like, I got to get up, I got to go, I got to move because I can't lay for too long.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit for too long. My most comfortable position is walking, unless my knees are acting up that day. So when I have how I deal with it, when I have a situation where my back always gives me problems, but it became to the point to where I'm just kind of used to it.
Yeah.
But when it's my back, when it's my back and my knees and my hands, then those are days that honestly I don't take a lot of my meds that I'm prescribed, but on those days I take them, and because I don't take them regularly, my body's not used to breaking them down or whatever, they just knock me out for the day, and I'm just like, oh, today I'm going. Then that's how I do it.
Yeah, and that's when we used to talk all the time. You'd be on the couch, and it's like, oh, sorry, Tommy, you're having a bad day.
Yeah, when it's bad, it's real bad, and that's a big part of why I want to move out west.
Warm climate.
I want warm climate. I want dry climate. Destiny has an interest in moving to Florida, which would be warmer, but with the arthritis that I have, the humidity down there affects people differently. So I'd have to go spend some time out there, because some people it don't affect at all, and they say they feel better, and then other people, the humidity, it just gets down deep in their joints, and then they're 10 times more miserable.
Yeah.
So where I know it's safe is like the Arizona, Nevada area.
Yeah, we put a lot of thought into moving into warmer climate as well. Right now, with her going through nursing school in September, we're going to be sticking around Pittsburgh for a while, but we've definitely tossed it around. Ken Ward says he's had 5 back surgeries.
Yeah, I just wrote him down for prayer list.
Ken, do you have any tricks when it comes to working, or do you have any special type of workarounds that you typically would do to help with that? And then T says, Tracy, I should say, says that has arthritis in my hands, have a hard time gripping things at times, have diabetes, but no physical problems with that yet. Thank God there's nothing with the diabetes. So the hands are a big part of this business. You know what I mean? As far as almost everything, because you need to handle the product. You need to be able to take pictures. You need to be able to with your hands. Shipping is pretty much hands intensive. So on a day where you're having a lot of trouble with your hands, does it completely shut you down, or what have you learned as far as different types of ways around that?
I know with mine, while she's answering, I know with mine, because as you know, Anthony, I've got over 20 old breaks in my hand, and I have my dominant hand. I have such terrible problems with gripping things. I can't grip things. And I have to actually use those bottle openers that attach to the lids to get things open. You know, to open a bottle of pop or open a spaghetti sauce or open, I can't do that with my hand. There's really nothing that I can do that's going to help that, even taking the medication and the ibuprofen. I just have to use both hands. I just have to use both hands and make the best of it.
And I have the same issue with my hands because I have so much arthritis and stuff in my knuckles and wrist. I just don't have the strength. I mean, opening a pickle jar, I used to be able to be like pop, and now I'm like hugging it and it, and it's like, man, I did have a stroke like 8-9 years ago. So was
everybody able to tell?
Well, they told me that, I mean, I lost my whole right side, and it sucks because I'm right-handed. And they told me that, I mean, my arm was all palsied out and everything. And they told me that I'd probably never regain completely normal use of it, which I did. I have total functionality in my hand. The issue that I have, and they're saying it's because of the stroke, is there's times where my hand will just go numb. You know, it's just a split second, but it's long enough where I drop coffee cups. I don't do a whole lot of dishes because it'll just boom, you know. I'll be in the thrift store and I'll go grab something and just lose it. You know, so I mean I can control it if I'm very conscious of it. If I'm like at the thrift store, I'm gonna grab something fragile, I focus and I grab it. Okay, focus, don't drop it, I'm cool. But just blindly grabbing it and all of a sudden I'll just lose the feel sensation. And it's like I say, it's only for a split second.
Yeah.
But that's all it takes to drop something.
Yeah, especially if, like, say you're shipping something, and I know you do ship a lot of coffee mugs, especially now that you're doing merch. You know, that would be a difficult thing to work around.
Yeah. And there's times too, even like as simple as taping boxes. You know, you go to tape a box, and when you're on that downstroke, and you kind of lose the sensation of feeling the tape gun, it just kind of flips out of your hand. I've been nipped by the tape cutter a couple of times.
Yeah,
it's just something you'll learn to deal with. It's life. You know, I got little scars. I probably can't see them.
I've got them all over too.
I got little scars all over the place from just losing sensation in my hand. I work on all my own cars. Every once in a while, ratcheting on something, and you just bam, lose the feel of it. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
See, like with me with work, like I'm on my feet hours upon hours. Like even my forklift's a standing, you know, unit or whatever. And when I come home or I'm off, like I enjoy the sitting part because I'm on my feet so much. But I mean, I do have herniated discs and stuff like that in my back. I had that since I was 20, and you know, I went through physical therapy and all that type of stuff. So it's almost like with me and my body, how it's set up right now, it's almost like a ticking time bomb. That's kind of why I work as hard as I do, because I'm going to get to the point where, you know, I'm going to have some issues or I might not be able to work anymore. So I'm almost, you know, I'm almost fighting to, you know, against the clock, you know, basically of, you know, I don't know when I'll be able to keep doing this for, especially my job. So, you know, I went through all types of different stuff, through chiropractors to, you know, went to doctors that fed me all types of crazy medications. And, you know, now I just, you know, I'm so used to the pain and from everything, I just deal with it. You know what I mean? And one thing that that I do personally, and I'm so happy I found the bins. Is I have at this massager that I found at the bins. This Dr. Scholl's one, and I just set it. It has heat settings and it has like a massage setting and all that. So it gives me a little bit of relief when I am sitting and especially in the mornings when it's cold now and you're tight and your body's just aching, especially mine, from my back and my disc and stuff like that. So I have that now. I was going to sell it, now I'm going to keep it because it's gonna help me every morning. So
Yeah, for sure. I use a lot of that stuff too. I use that. I use Tens. I use ice like literally constantly. I have like 20 ice packs just in my freezer, and I go through pretty much all of them in a day for the most part.
I think it's crazy is like the doctors I go to, they all were talking about how ice is the best thing for me. But from what I've seen, I mean, my body reacts to is heat. It loosens me up because how my discs are. Instead of my back being like flat like this, it like all my muscles like get together and get real tight. So it's almost like I'm like hunched a little bit.
Yeah.
So with the heat, it allows my muscles to relax and like go flat because my back muscles is actually protecting my discs. That's why they do that or whatever. So
I don't have too much problem with it anymore, but it's probably because I use it on a semi-regular basis. But I had compressed discs, a couple in my back. I got the inversion table, man, and that was a lifesaver.
Yes, I have one too, Tommy.
Yep.
Yeah, a real good friend of mine has one too, and problem is I think they only go up to like 300 pounds, so I'd probably fall.
No, the Iron Man goes to 350. Anthony, I've got one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep, I got it off of Amazon. It goes to 350 pounds.
I'd be right at the limit or close to it.
Yeah.
If I eat Thanksgiving dinner, I wouldn't be able to lay on there.
Nate, you are not 350 pounds.
I'm in the 320s. Definitely am.
I'm down to 307 now, so I've lost 10 pounds. So
There you go.
I've been this size and this weight basically since I was a sophomore in high school. To say the football coach loved me from day one.
Let's talk for just a second. I know I'm a guest on here, Anthony, but as far as the subject that we're talking about, let's talk for a second about what benefits our jobs have to helping our disabilities. Like I know for me, if I'm sitting too long and I need to go lay down, prop my back and stretch or do anything like that, it's nice to have that availability in the power to get up, go do what I need to do for my health, and then come back in 20 minutes. That really helps me. I couldn't imagine working in an office anymore, going through the pain and everything, because I have so less pain doing what I'm doing here than I did in an office, because I can get up and go stretch. I can get up and go take my meds. I can get up and lay on the couch with my dog laying on my back, which feels so good.
Yeah.
I have that benefit. What benefits do you guys have to being able to work at home with your disability?
I mean, yeah, the exact same thing. I mean, I have the benefit of not being able to hold down like a regular job because of the limitations I have, to now being able to have my own business and basically be able to call my own shots. You know what I mean? Like whatever time of the day I don't feel good, I can go rest. And then whatever time of the day I feel like I want to get up and do something, I can get up and do it. So it's just the flexibility, I think, is the major thing that really helps me to be successful with this. And it's almost to the point where my drive for this vehicle is so strong that when everybody knows how much I love video games. When faced with the option to either play video games or to go downstairs and list and work, I'm down here listing and working. And that's one of the main things I get yelled at when Ash comes home is, how much time did you spend in the basement today? Because it's like more than I should, because I'm like at nighttime I'm like dying because I've pushed it too much throughout the day. But I do have the option to just basically, take it easy if I need to, which is really nice.
And I'm always getting sent to the dungeon.
Touche.
She's like, "Don't you have something to do? Why don't you go downstairs? Go downstairs. You're aggravating me."
So, Tommy, you get your relief from getting up. Hi, Des.
Hi.
Hey there.
What are you talking smack about?
Nothing. I love you, honey.
Yeah, talk smack some more, babe. You'll definitely be out here all night.
See the abuse I go through.
Yeah.
So I would assume, Tommy, for you, getting up and walking around and doing something else in regards to your business helps you.
Absolutely. See, I don't resell. Like, I didn't get into reselling because of any handicaps or pain or disability. I've been a hustler long before that. But
Me
I am
too.
thankful. I am thankful that it's kind of a natural thing for me, and that I went this direction in my life, because I know I couldn't. I've had regular jobs. I've worked in factories. I worked in retail. I worked in hospitality, but I couldn't do any one of them jobs now in my life on a consistent. I couldn't go sit, like when I was working on it. I couldn't go sit on a forklift for 8 hours a day. I couldn't. I got to get up. I got to move. I couldn't go and carry trays full of food for 8 hours a day either, because that would just tear my back up. None of that. I couldn't do any of that anymore. And I know, like, wow, if I fail at this, I'm going to have to go get some type of job. And it's like, what kind of job could I do that I'm not going to be physically miserable at? I can't. People say, well, you can always sit and you can do computer work and desktop. No, I can't sit. You'll see me during the show. Even I'm moving back, I'm moving forward, I'm turning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. If I had to sit at a desk just like this for 8 hours a day, and say I had a quota that I got to do, I got a data entry, or I got to take phone calls for. And so I can't just get up when I feel like it and take a walk upstairs, or, okay, I've listed a few things. Now I'm going to go clean some things to be able to stand up and run.
When I would work, my chair would be leaned way back, and I would be kind of doing this, trying to get into a comfortable position.
Yeah.
Kelly, the Ecom Mom word brings up a good point. You can work doing this type of business. You can schedule your doctor's appointments. You don't have to ask for time off. You don't have to wonder, am I going to be able to make that appointment? You can just, work your schedule around your doctor's appointments.
Yep.
And I'm glad you put Matt's comment up there, because I had told him we would address it.
Yeah.
Do any of us have injuries because of reselling? And I actually do. Because I sit here for longer periods of time, my posture is down, and the muscles under the neck at the top of your back, these right here, those will tense up on me. But that's the only ailment that I have because of reselling, because I'll sit here for so long. I have to remember to keep my shoulders back. If I keep my shoulders back, that doesn't happen. But if I'm like this, then I can feel the strain here where I never used to have that before.
Yeah. I would say the main thing that I deal with is just by pushing myself. It like forces me into more bad days.
Yeah.
And that's my own fault, because I know my limitations and I ignore them. So, really, I'm the only one to blame for that.
Justin's last comment there, if you want to highlight that, that's exactly how it is with me.
I just think it's awesome. Like I work, and
Okay,
do that.
there we go. Yeah, if you wake up and you're having an off day, then he can control what he does that day to accommodate how he's feeling. And if he is grinding at it, and you're like, okay, you want to work hard at it and bear through the pain, just be like, okay, I need to get these listed and bear through. And you can say, okay, I'm going to do it for 2 hours, or I'm going to do it for 10 listings, and hit that goal. And then I can go lay down the rest of the day.
Right. What were you saying, Nate?
So I just think it's awesome. Like, there's people that have disabilities and they have every reason just to not do anything. I mean, because of their
Right.
disabilities, and here a lot of us that do, have disabilities. Some file for disability, some not. That's their own choice, to do or whatever. But they're doing what they can to really work hard and do do something, for a business or whatever, for themselves. So I think that's great that you guys are like fighting, to really do something great and make something, when you have every reason not to. You know what I mean? You guys could just have like, oh, I'm hurt, I'm just gonna give up. No, you guys are up fighting every day, going out to the bins, going out to these stores and really doing something. So I think that's
Thank
great.
you, Nate.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah, I think that's something great about this community, and this community doesn't get enough credit for working as hard as we do.
Mhm.
I would say especially people that like could theoretically just sit back and collect a paycheck for basically being hurt or having some kind of a problem.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, I give people all the credit in the world that want to earn their living or want to get out there and do something productive with their time. I know a lot of people, even if they say they're on disability, they still get out there and grind every day.
Right.
You're in Marcus.
There's a woman that was in our church that she was on disability. She didn't have to do a dang thing with her life, but she was passionate about being a drug and alcohol counselor. So she's in school right now trying to earn a degree so that she can do that. Even though theoretically she could just sit back and collect a paycheck, not only for her but for like having kids too. You know what I mean? And she struggles with emotional health as well. So that's kind of, I believe, that, and she also has like, I think like what you have, Kelly, that makes you have a lot of pains.
Fibromyalgia.
Fibro, yeah. So she has that, and she has like some mental health issues. But she decided that, hey, there's like, I want to do more with my life than just kind of sit back and collect a paycheck. And
that brings up a good point. Veronica, the cherry picker, says sometimes it isn't physical. And that brings up a really good point, Veronica, because with fibromyalgia, you get fibro fog. It's where your brain just does not function things correctly. And you can't remember what you just did. You can't remember how to do things. Your mind is it's just not there. Like I won't remember things that happened. My husband's like, why can't you remember that? I don't know. It's just my mind's not working today. And that's what I say. My mind is not working today. And so those are the days where you don't want to list because you don't want to make an error. So those will be days that you want to take photographs, and those are the days that you just want to lay in bed and don't get up. So maybe you finish drafts and laying in bed and get some things done laying in bed, you know?
Yeah.
I do know the one thing that we resellers really, really fight with, and that's taking a day off. How many days off do you think in a month, in 1 month, how many days off do you think you guys take where you never come into your workspace? You don't work at all. Because I just took a day off. Day before yesterday, I took a day off. I was bored out of my mind, and it was probably the first day off I'd had in months.
Yeah. It's like normally I'll take Sundays off, but with Ash picking up a lot of Sundays at work, like she has to work at the hospital mandatory 2 Sundays a month, and then she's been picking up Sunday evenings like every other when she's not at the hospital. So she'd go to work. She leaves, I think, around 2:15 to 3 o'clock to go to work on Sunday, and it's like she's heading out. I'm heading downstairs. Unless the Steelers are on, then I'm going to wait till 4 o'clock to head down. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, even if it is a day off, like there's always that draw. Like, hey, I can just go downstairs and there's a whole bunch of work that needs done. But even with what Veronica has said here, she's had a headache for 35 days now. Like I couldn't even imagine. Like, I mean, I've had chronic pain for several years, so I understand what it's like to be in pain nonstop for X amount of time. But I mean, a headache is something that a lot of people would like. She works full time still, in addition to doing her reselling. So, I mean, it's not like something she can call in and say, hey, I'm having a headache still. You know what I mean? Because the boss is going to be like, come on, really? You've had a headache for 35 days? But that's a real thing. You know what I mean? I've heard the likelihood is with a headache, if you have a headache today, you're more prone to have one tomorrow. So
yeah, the longest I've gone with a headache is 2 weeks. So I couldn't imagine 35 days.
yeah, that's just insane to me. I'll definitely be praying for you.
I've got her on the prayer list for
Okay, good.
2 o'clock.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Well, this is a perfect subject to be taking notes for prayer requests.
Yeah, definitely.
See, when you were talking about how many days off in a month you take, I don't really take any days off. This is the problem. I don't take, like, there's not really a day that I don't do something with the business, but I take way more than I should, half days or 3/4 of a day off.
Yeah. I do that too. If I'm not feeling well, like literally I'll come downstairs and it's like I got in my mind 3 to 5 listings, 3 to 5 listings, 3 to 5 listings. And full transparency, there's been days where I just listed 3 action figures. So it's not even like 3 listings for, like $300. It's like 3 listings for $30. 3 listings for $20.
At least you're getting something done.
And that's the way I've looked at it. At least there's activity on eBay. And there's been more days than I'd care to admit that end up that way. But honestly, it's just because I'm not feeling good. And I'll spend time doing other stuff that's beneficial to the business. And I just realized something. Dang it.
See, I always, it's very important for me to be active. So even if I'm in like the most miserable feeling discomfort or whatever, even if I have to come downstairs and just end 10 listings and sell similar on them, and that's all I do that day, that I'll do that.
And that's something, at least that keeps the store alive, Tommy.
Right.
Yeah. And I find myself constantly reorganizing this 110 square feet so that I can make sense of it and have some sense of organization. So I'm always working on this room.
So
that's a struggle that Destiny has too, is she's working in a limited space up there. Now, we looked at this guy when we were at the mall, and he's not doing cups and everything else like that, but he was doing printing t-shirts. And he was working out of a kiosk. And I'm like, well, if this guy can do it out of this kiosk, how come you can't do it out of a whole dining room? But it's just, there's just so much in the organization level is just, we can't find it.
You don't ever want to approach a female that way, Tommy. Because you'll get defensive like that.
Oh, you damn right.
You always want to word it a little bit differently.
See, I have a problem with that. I do, and I know that's my thing, because I'll go and look for something and it'll be in a different spot, and then the next time I go and look for it, it'll be in an entirely different spot.
But that's hers. That's her area. That's her thing.
And I'm like, why would you not put something back in the same spot twice?
But that's her thing, and you have to realize that's her show. So she might change it up and think she wants to keep it in that other area for that time frame. And, those kind of stresses attribute to her, to her health. So.
Yeah, whatever. No.
My husband walks into my office and he shakes his head and he turns around and he walks out, and it pisses me off because I'm like, dude, I'm making the best that I can out of what I have. And you come in and shake your head, and it just infuriates me. Makes me feel like a failure. But I do good in what I do with what I have. I have too much stuff for 110 square feet, Yeah. I mean, you can just tell by the shelving units that are behind me. I mean,
absolutely.
I went from 1,000 square feet to 110 square feet.
Yeah, that's a heck of a downsize.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I fell in, is just the organization, because I don't have, like, I'm not full-time reselling. I don't have a day where I can go, okay, I'm going to put away listings and, not list or really mess with anything but ship, and then just kind of just grab everything that's not listed, make sure it's, it is in a listing pile or whatever. Like my stuff is mixed up right now. I don't know how it got that way, but I think it's from, just sourcing, listing some stuff, and then next it's getting hit away or push
Yeah, and
stuff like that. So it's
we've talked about that, Nate.
yeah. I got to get I got to take some time for myself sometimes, and also for for that part of it too. And it's hard. I have a family with the kids, and they're always busy doing stuff, and just like now they're a little bit sick and
No,
doing that and doctor's appointments.
I don't know how you do what you do, Nate, because you're such a good dad to your kids. You've got 3 kids that are constantly climbing all over you, and you want to take the morning time to spend with them. You want to be that good dad before you got to go to work, and then you're trying to run a business in the same time. I don't know how you do everything that you do while working full time with the ailments that you do have, and you're so patient. I don't know how you do it all. I really take my hat off to you.
For sure.
Yeah, it's almost like for me, it's like I got to push through whatever I'm going through or what's going on. You know what I mean? I have to go source, even if I'm limping around and not feeling good or whatever the case is. Because ever since I got hurt at work, my foot still bothers me. Where I'm limping and it's swollen and stuff like that. And I just got to fight through it because my time is so limited to do stuff for my business that if I just let it go, especially Amazon, that it'll just drop off to the part where it's like, whoa, I only got $100 from Amazon or $200 from Amazon this last 2 weeks or something, one day, and then I'm really kicking myself in the butt. You know what I mean? So,
But I mean, when I say you literally have kids crawling all over you, you have kids crawling all over you.
oh yeah,
You've
yeah,
got babies in diapers crawling all over you, wanting your attention, and you handle it so well.
yeah. I don't want to shield them from me or keep them away from me when I am listing and stuff because I'm only home so much. I work 50 hours a week. Most weeks. And, when I go sourcing, I always bring them with me unless it's an early morning garage sale. Then, I'll let them sleep in and enjoy the Saturday morning cartoons and stuff. But, just it's basically to me, I just come accustomed to, status quo of pain and just all the stuff going on that, I'm not going to let stop me from succeeding or growing my business. That's the main thing.
Well, I definitely tip my hat to you.
I appreciate it.
I don't have any of that to do. I just to deal with. I just come in, do what I need to do when I need to do it. If my husband wants to command my time at that moment, I can stop doing what I'm doing and go watch TV with him or run to the store with him or whatever.
Right.
Because we're empty nesters, so we just do our thing. So I don't have any of those obstacles.
Yeah.
Just this one right here.
Yeah, like Alice G said, like if you can plan it and schedule things, that's the best thing. But sometimes I have to just just do whatever I can when I can, and if you're able to plan things, that's the best way. You could schedule breaks in between doing things or family time or whatever. That's kind of like what I do on the weekends for the most part. If I'm not going out to source with the kids and stuff like that, then I'll list and then we'll watch a movie. That's what we did the other day. Like we said like a couple hours and we had family time where we're doing stuff together and stuff like that. But they're always around me.
This one plays a big part in my health. And that when I go and lay on the couch, I lift him up on the couch and he lays in the crook of my back. So I've got 25 pounds in the crook of my back right where I need it. And then I prop myself up almost in a yoga pose, and that stretches my back and releases a lot of tension in my spine. And he helps me with that. So this one's a big part of me getting a good day's work too.
Yeah, I believe the pets are very, very key to like a lot of physical, emotional health and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
They take away a lot of the stress of things.
Oh yeah.
But even what Alice said here, I mean, going even beyond the business, like with me and Ash planning a Disney trip, she's already planned in like rest times for me, and knowing that I can't physically go the entire time. You know what I mean? Like even going into that stuff, there's additional planning that needs to be made.
Can't you rent a golf cart, Anthony, when you get there?
Oh yeah, I'm getting a little scooter. Like I'll be zipping around the park on that. And it sucks. Disney nerfed them because people kept hitting people with them. So now they get slow. So it's like now I'm be trailing behind Ash the whole time because she don't slow down. She's at Disney. She's like full force, like running. So before I was like zipping past her on that thing, and now because idiots are running into other idiots, they had to nerf the speed big time on them.
Thank you, DC Cells. It's great to see you too, honey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, I have no idea. I typed a 3 in the chat. I have no idea how that happened.
No big deal. So Matt's asking, how often do you go back and recomp and reprice your items?
Me, every 30 days.
Mine's a little bit longer than that. I'd say about every 60 days I do mine.
I'm probably right in between you guys. And the reason for that is I have some stuff set to automatically lower in price. So a lot of times, rather than going and lowering my prices, I'm going and upping my prices. So that way when I run a sale, it's like I'm not giving something away.
See, I don't like running that automatic price dropper thing. That
eBay doesn't have that though. Oh yeah, it does. It does.
They have that like promoted thing or whatever.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
I don't like that because if I forget about it, because I do have so much going on in my life and work and everything else, I'll forget something. Next, I'll have a $60 item that's brand new or something going for $10 plus.
It doesn't drop that quick, especially if you keep an eye on it. But let's be honest, if a $60 item drops to $10, is it really worth selling for $60?
Well, I was making
No, I get it,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the biggest issue I have, especially with running sales, is making sure that everything's like copacetic price wise. So that's why I'll 30 to 60 days. I'm like right in the middle there, like going through up in prices on items. But there are times where I don't want to. For example, I don't want to spend too much time repricing items. That's why I'll allow it to automatically reprice. That way, because for the most part, it takes a lot less time upping prices than it does lowering prices, because things will eventually sell out as the prices begin to slowly drop. So I don't know. That's just the way I choose to do it. But I mean, I guess it's like to each their own. One size doesn't really fit all. Like we've said.
One thing I do, I'll go back and, like, for example, if it's like a clothing item, like a short sleeve shirt or something, and it's getting towards the end of the season, then I'll drop my price to where it's like basically like a store clear out or whatever, because I don't really want to hold that item till next year or till spring or whatever the case may be, and just have the inventory lay around. But I would say probably every 90 days. I just don't have the time to go back and just look through everything as much as I do or whatever. But also, I kind of just set my own price and let it kind of rock and roll. I just let it go. You know what I mean? I just feel I do a little bit of comping on some things, and then, On some other things, I already know generally what the item should go for, what I expect from it, so I just let it ride.
You guys are gonna have to let me come on your show every day because I've gotten 2 sales.
Nice.
I tried something new this week, or this week's sale that I did. Instead of doing like a 10 or 15 or even a 20% sale, I went and up my promoteds to 5% and did a smaller sale just to kind of see, because we were talking about that, I think, off air, and people, and Tommy said he did better with higher discounts or whatever, and the promoteds at whatever, like a lower amount.
See, I've never ever sold anything on promoted though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I figured if I do a lower discount and up the promoted, it's almost like running a 10% sale anyway. So it's for me, I'm not going to really lose a lot of money on the items or whatever you want to call it. But maybe that might help. Maybe my items need a little more visibility because it is a heavy, for example, like polo shirts, for example. There's probably 25,000 Ralph Lauren polo shirts, listed. So maybe that'll help me get a little more exposure and clear out some, inventory or whatever. So we're gonna test that out and see if I have any good results with this sale. I'm running until Friday.
Yeah, I'd be real curious on a follow-up on that.
Yeah, I'll keep everyone posted for sure.
Sorry, baby. Kelly, the ecom mom, brings up a good point. On the flip side, how does running your own business help you push through your disabilities? Make sure you're more active, like having to get up to ship or go sourcing. And that does bring up a really good point, Kelly. Thank you. I know there are times when I just want to lay in bed for the morning. I just want to lay in bed. And, even with my meds, even if I take my meds, sometimes I just want to lay in bed. But I can't because I've got shipping to do.
Yep.
I have shipping to do, and I've got to get to the post office by 4:30. And I've got to get ready for my jewelry auction. And so, yes, that makes a good point that the responsibilities of running the business do get you up and get you going. And then once you're up and going, then, you find yourself putting in a full day's work. So, yeah, that is a benefit sometimes.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And by the same point, doing this show also gets me going earlier in the day, too, because, I've always had a thing where I get to the post office by 3 o'clock. That way I can do a lot of same day shipping. So, some days, hey, maybe I'll lay in bed till noon, you know what I mean? And that limits what I can get done in a day. But doing this show, I'm out of bed at 9 a.m. every morning. You know what I mean? I'm, getting ready for this. And while I'm doing that, I'm pulling orders. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And by the time I'm done with this, I can essentially just have basically all my shipping done, and I can just go to listing.
Welcome, KLC Reselling. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for being here too. Appreciate it.
Hello.
Let's see, Justin says, quick shipping question. I just got a message from the person that bought the typewriter. They said they're not in a hurry and asked if I could send STD. What is STD?
Like standard
Sexually
delivery.
transmitted disease.
What, Justin? I know that. What were you going to say, Justin? Nate?
Maybe they wanted a cheaper, like that's why I asked if he was, if they're paying for shipping, maybe they wanted cheaper shipping, right?
Yeah, like a standard.
So this way, instead of paying for like, priority, which a lot of times priority is like barely cheaper than the standard rate or whatever, but maybe they want a little bit of money back on shipping or whatever. I would just, see what the difference is, let them know, like, if I send it this, it's going to be, you'll save this amount of money, or if it's going to be this, it's going to take a little longer, but you will get a little bit of a refund. I would just let them know like the options. As long as it's in your messages, you're protected. Like if there's any, for example, like say you have fast shipping where they expect the item guaranteed by, say, just for example, say Friday, for example, or Saturday, then because you picked the other slower shipping, then you would be covered on that. Yeah, it's just the standard part, like partial shipping, or I know UPS has like slower ones as well. Yeah, I know with me coming on the show and Anthony doing the show, like I found myself waking up a little bit earlier, which is a good thing, because sometimes I would sleep till 11 or whatever, but stay up till the late hours of the night. So
Well, but you
gets me
get
going.
home late at night. I know when I worked second shift, I wouldn't go to bed till 3 in the morning every day. When my husband got up to go to work, that's when I would go to bed.
Right. Like when I come home from work, I'm excited about my orders, so I'm pulling them, I'm packing them, and then I'm looking over my Amazon stuff. I'm looking over eBay stuff, seeing if I have any offers, or, then I look on online arbitrage for stuff that's on sale or deals, or that certain websites are doing. So I do a lot of that type of stuff. So I kind of abbreviated the time I'm up at night to make sure I'm up in the morning, and I'm still doing that stuff I'm missing at night, but I'm up earlier. So I feel better getting up a little bit earlier than kind of sleeping into 11 and kind of just dragging myself into work.
Just emotionally, I do feel that it feels better too for me getting up earlier and kind of just taking the day by the horns. And
I usually take, my doctor wouldn't give me sleeping pills because of the addictive properties of them, but I take those over the counter Tylenol PMs. I take those at 8 o'clock every night, so I'm asleep at least by 9:30. But last night I fell asleep at 8:30. I fell asleep during your guys' auction.
Okay.
Last thing I remember was the wooden truck that Rebecca had. That's the last thing I remember. And that forces me to get up earlier. Like I woke up at 8 this morning, so clearly I needed 12 hours of sleep today. But then normally I get up between 4 and 6, and then I start my day that way.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, and then just like you, Anthony, I'll take my pills, I'll go crawl back in bed for about 45 minutes, watch some YouTube videos, and wait for my pills to work, and then get up and start my day.
Yep. That's how I start. I start every day with YouTube for at least 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Until the pills are kicked in and I can start moving.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's like my thing. Like, I'm usually in pain when I lay in bed, which might sound weird to some people, but I don't know what it is, but my back will like just hurt so bad.
That's the way my husband is too, Nate. My husband's like that too. I can't lay in bed any longer. My back hurts.
Yeah. I'll just roll out of bed and then, just watch YouTube for a second, or, just like I said earlier, just check on stuff, because there's always sales and prices, and sometimes you'll catch a price glitch every once in a while, which I've done.
Everybody's got their own way of doing things and doing it so that it works out for them. And, that's the beautiful thing about being your own boss and running your own company. You can do things however you need to do them to work, so it works out best for you. That's the best thing. I can't ever see myself going back to an office job again. I pray to the Lord that I don't ever have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I don't think I'd be able to do it, because having like a boss would just be like too difficult for me at this rate, as far as what I can physically do and what I can't physically do. You know what I mean? Because if I need to like go rest, they don't understand that. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you're paid to do a job, and the job requires you to do this, and that, which it's like, I understand that, great, but I can't theoretically, sit here this whole time and do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can complete my job, just not in the parameters that you give me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like with my boss, like, we get an hour lunch or a half hour lunch, and then 2 15-minute breaks. And, like, he'll have us do things or whatever, but he won't remember that we have breaks coming up, or we do have breaks to take eventually, or if something doesn't get done quick enough, he'll be like, well, why didn't this get done? And I'll be like, well, I had my break. So it's almost like he views breaks because he has to manually either take it out if we don't take it for lunch, because it's mandatory if you have if you work for 8 hours that you take a lunch. So he has to physically go in and take it out. If we don't use it. But it's like he doesn't remember that we do have breaks, or we're allowed to take them or whatever. So
And
that's like a battle between me and him, like every day almost.
Nate, do you have the type of job where you can't go on break until something's done because you can't stop midway?
It was weird. Like at my job, like when you take a break, you're not there for a second, of course, right? So like some of the people that I used to work with would say, well, this person disappeared, like we just stopped doing our job and just walked off, or went to do our own thing or whatever. But in all honesty, I was on break, so then they had us as scheduled breaks, which didn't make any sense, the timing of them, because it was during our busiest time of the day where we needed to be on the floor doing whatever we were doing. So now I take them whenever is necessary, and I'm able to, because it was hurting us getting done and getting our work done. And not only that, you're leaving the other guy, because it's only me and one guy now. We used to have 4 guys, and it's leaving the other guy like basically like shorthanded, needing help. So I take them as I can. I just know when it's basically it's a good time to take them versus like, yeah, I shouldn't be taking one right now, basically.
Yeah, see, and that's unfortunate. So because when you need it, it's not there for you.
Right.
Yeah. What's up, Aaron Marcus? I didn't even think of you, man. You'd have been a great person to have on today too for this topic.
And that's why I mentioned earlier when you were talking about it, some people work full time, and I said, yeah, Aaron Marcus.
Yep. Absolutely. I would say another good thing, though, in regards to the whole, working a full-time job and all that. My previous position before I went full-time reselling was pastoring a church. Now, I had the added benefit that even in the church process, I was an entrepreneur, because me and Ashley started a church from nothing. Like it's called church planting, is what they call it. In church circles. But we literally went to a spot where there wasn't a church, there was nothing there, and we started from nothing. We started with a Bible study in our living room. Kind of like right now, me and Kelly are starting with a Bible study on YouTube. We started with a Bible study in our living room, and we just built it till it became a church. So literally it was like, we had to raise the money like you would for any other business. We had to go through all the avenues of making it legitimate. And the nice thing with that is I didn't go into a position where I already had like a board, and I already had, like a congregation expecting certain things of me physically or job wise. I went into it to where I could build my own position however I wanted it. And the nice thing was I even had like a really comfortable futon I'd put in my office, which most people thought it was just for, whenever I do counseling or, meet with certain people. But the main reason I had that in there is so when I wasn't feeling well, I could shut my door, lock it, and lay down and rest and feel better before I had another meeting or whatnot. You know what I mean? I had deep freezers that I like filled with my ice packs. So like I had everything I needed to accomplish my job and also make sure I was okay physically right there built into the church, built into the position, because it was, again, something where I was the entrepreneur. Even though, I was a pastor, you can't really think of church as a business, but I mean, there are logistics to it. The power needs to stay on, you know what I mean? Like all of the utilities need to work. The building needs to be kept. So in a way, you kind of do need to be a little entrepreneurial for that type of thing. So, yeah, So I was able to kind of take the same things that I use for reselling and incorporate it into a different business and still have that same ability to be flexible and to still basically work my own hours and everything.
Kelly, the econ mom, says when she worked at the hospital, sometimes you barely got a break to use the bathroom. Hey, I'm with you there, Kelly. I never took breaks and I never took a lunch. And there just wasn't time to do that. You've got patients waiting for equipment. You've got patients waiting for IV drips and things like that. You know, someone's coded and they need a new crash cart. You just you can't, you know. And I would always punch no lunch. So I always got paid for my lunch. I averaged about 12 to 15 hours of overtime a week when I worked at the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that's the same with Ash because a lot of times she doesn't get her lunch even. She works 12-hour shifts until like a couple hours before she's ready to come home. She'll get home and she won't even be hungry for dinner. And it's like, well,
yeah, and I'm sure, like, I used to take 2 Norcos, which is the generic Vicodin.
yeah,
2 Norcos before my shift, 2 Norcos in the middle of my shift, and 2 Norcos at the end of my shift. Now, since I have not been working since the end of February, I have probably taken a Norco 2 or 3 times. Just one, 2 or 3 times. You know, from the fact that filling a 60 count quantity every month to filling a 60 quantity every 3 months. So, and I don't even use all of that. So, yeah, I mean, that's one benefit to having my own business is I don't have to try and get rid of that pain. I can do other things to get rid of the pain.
yeah, for sure.
And I don't have that physical job that's causing the pain.
Yeah, I definitely love the idea of just being able to kind of dictate what you can and cannot do in a day, and then kind of sticking to that. I need to get better at sticking to that. I feel like I'd be a lot better off health wise, and I'd probably end up doing more in the long run too. But I'm stubborn. Like I've always told myself like when I was wrestling professionally, I didn't even let myself retire from wrestling until I could barely walk because I was so stubborn. Like I knew I was hurt and I was hurt pretty bad, but you know what I mean? Like I just wanted more, you know. So and I think it's the same way when you run your own business. You want to get the most out of it as you possibly can. Because I can speak from experience. I will personally work so much harder for myself than I will for a corporation. You know what I mean? Like whenever I used to work in the corporate world, I used to pride myself in going number 2 at work because they were basically paying me to like drop a deuce. And I know that's like the dumbest thing, and that's also like in a previous life before I met the Lord, but I would do stupid things like that just so I didn't have to be in my cubicle.
Well,
and now it's like I'll literally sit down here and I'll hold it just to get a few more listings done.
Well, Anthony, you have to do what you have to do to get a break.
Yeah, touche.
You know what I'm saying? You have to do what you have to do just to get a break in.
Yeah.
You know.
So I want to share something. Not share it, but I guess give a bolo out. I'm gonna give a show first bolo. It's not really. It's a good deal. Let's just put it that way. I'm gonna put it in the chat here. I found some bubble mailers and poly mailers that are a really good deal.
Cool.
Ooh, do share, brother. Do share.
There's a pack of 250 24 by 24 poly mailers for $30.
Good deal.
And there is the link I just put in is for the 24 by 24s, and the second one is for I think it's 9 by 12 poly mailers, and you get 100 for $7.77.
Good night, Neville. Mama loves you. That's a good deal, Nate.
Yeah, especially the
I
second one.
need, yeah, I need more of the bubble mailers than, for the jewelry. I need more of the bubble. I've got tons of the regular poly mailers because that's what I was getting for the longest time with my coupon was the bubble mailers because I didn't need the tape. And then this last time I had to order tape.
They have a bunch of stuff on clearance, like through the bubble mailers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I might
It's
have to order some.
If you go into Walmart, go in the search all departments, put U boxes, and it should show you all there's almost everything's on clearance right now. But there's some stuff that's not a great deal, but there's some stuff that's pretty decent. There's bubble mailers, there's different color ones. But those two are the best. Best deal for the price. I just wanted to share with everyone because I'm sure that a lot of people are going to need those for the fourth quarter and shipping.
Is that from Walmart?
Yeah, that's on Walmart. And then if you have Rakuten, I think you get 5% back on Rakuten as well.
Yeah. That used to be called Ebates.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm looking at now. I'm trying to see what other ones I need because they do have some bubble mailers, but they're in smaller quantities, so the price isn't that.
I bought some good bubble mailers. This last time I bought a pack of 10, and they're this size, and that's just perfect for jewelry.
Yeah.
The other ones I bought were so tiny. Perfect for Pokemon cards. That's why I said maybe I would send you some, Anthony. But you probably just send your Pokemon cards in a regular envelope, don't you?
Yeah, because I use a stamp. I'll only use the bubble mailers if it's an expensive card and I want to get the tracking on it and make sure I don't get ripped off.
So you don't even need the bubble mailers?
Not really. I mean, I would probably still use them for, small figures and stuff like that, but you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, they're so tiny, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
I have to set my printer at 80% to print. Look.
Uh-huh.
Like, here's my face.
Yeah.
That's how small they are. I didn't think they'd be that small.
I think this is probably
I
think this is probably a good place to start to kind of unwind. Is there anything that you guys want to say in closing, like anything you want to promote on your channels or anything like that?
I don't really have any channel promotions, but I do like to say thank you every day for everybody that comes in and enjoys the show, and even more of a thank you to the people that interact. I think that's wonderful. I love the interaction and all the input we get from the chat.
I do too. I'll promote your channel, Tommy. We're on Tommy's channel tomorrow morning, so make sure you're subscribed to him and hit that bell notification so that you'll be able to watch us tomorrow. And watch him anyway, because Tommy knows his stuff. Like I can't tell you how much I've learned just from hanging out with him. So yeah, you'll gain a whole lot of knowledge and just entertainment by watching Tommy.
I appreciate that. And like I told Justin last night too, because he's still getting into the swing of things. If I can help anybody out in any way, I mean, don't hesitate to ask. I enjoy paying it forward and helping people out. If I can help you maybe find a way to do something a little better, a little easier. I'm not saying all my ways are the right way, but sometimes I can turn you on to something. I don't mind at all.
I hope to see you come back, KLC. It was nice having you here.
2 o'clock, guys. 2 o'clock is Bible study right back on this channel.
Yep.
We're not going to switch it to Cylinder Ministries until we know for sure we can go live from that channel.
Yep.
But right back at this channel at 2 o'clock for Bible study. And then I, over at Hip Flippin' Mama YouTube channel, have my jewelry auction tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
So you want to check that out. Some good jewelry. How about you, Nate?
For me, basically, stuff coming up with you with Amazon stuff. Hopefully, as long as Amazon decides to answer your application. If not, we'll definitely be doing something this weekend.
Are
Probably,
you guys going to record that training session?
yeah,
We're good. I
Okay.
it might be tomorrow. I have a video coming out with Nate where I kind of just walked around Ollie's with him when he was kind of talking about Amazon. I had to trim a lot of stuff out of that though, unfortunately, because of like music in the background and stuff like that. But it should still be about like 17, 18, 19 minutes of Nate like basically talking about, how to do stuff on Amazon.
Cool.
And David, Justin, Ken, and Veronica, I've got your prayer requests right here.
There's a topic down here, Tommy. I don't know if you have a topic for tomorrow's show, but Tracy just suggested one.
Oh, we can do that. We can definitely do that.
And I was talking to Nate, Tommy, a little bit about this over the weekend, but I lost track of time during the show, and I got excited and into like the topic. I had bid in on a storage locker, and I ended up losing it because I didn't pay attention at the end again.
what did it go for?
Right now, this morning?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
it's all right.
You should have told us. We would have reminded you.
Well, I was watching the clock, and then like within the last 10 minutes, I just like forgot about it because I got into the conversation.
How much did you lose it by?
Sold for $30.
So $6.
Oh, you end up going up to 24?
No, it goes by tens. I was only at 10.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go any higher because I forgot about it.
I thought
It was like literally in the last like couple minutes, like the people bid on it and won. Because I didn't get the outbid request until 10:30 and ended at 10:35.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Anthony. I wish you'd have said something. We would have reminded you.
Yeah, it's
Would
all
you-
right. I'll keep bidding on stuff. Like Nate knows, I've been bidding on a lot of stuff lately, and like one ended. It wasn't last Saturday, but the Saturday before when he and I got together, and I ended up. I don't know how, but I slept in. I didn't set my alarm, I guess, because I wasn't getting up to do this show, and I slept in, and I got outbid the last minute there, and then today I lost track of it.
So, Anthony, I was going to ask you, tell everybody what your weight limit is that you are able to pick up.
Doctor says about 25 pounds, but I mean, honestly, I break that a lot. I should.
I know you do. So if you win this auction, is Ashley going to be doing the heavy lifting?
Well, the nice thing about this auction, it was all in garbage bags, so there would be no heavy lifting.
Gotcha.
I'd be able to go through and just kind of, hey there. I'd be able to go through and just separate it like trash, donatables, and stuff I want to resell. And there'd be like a cart. I can just push it all to the van, maybe take
that's nice.
Doctor, take something to Goodwill, and then take the rest back to my house. So I've been purposely targeting stuff that I can do myself because I can't rely on Ashley's schedule because she works so often, and then she'll get hit up last minute like, hey, there's nobody with the lady that she watches, and the lady can't be by herself because God forbid she could fall or something.
Right.
So Ashley, anytime that happens, Ashley's like, I'm there, and then like boom, she like runs out the door and takes care of it. So
If you bid on something and you have some time to clean it out, where I would be available on a Friday or Saturday, I'd come help you.
I appreciate that.
You just gotta tell me when, and if you want it, and hey, I want something, I need you. That's all you gotta do. I'm here to help you, buddy.
For sure. And if I bid on any of the heavy stuff, like I already told you, we'll split it.
Yeah, right.
Like we'll go halves on it and kind of just split it down the middle, whatever we make.
So much love in the YouTube world. I love it.
Well, that's what's nice. Like with me and Nate being in the same city, even though we're on opposite ends, like we probably live an hour apart, but we're both like on the outskirts of Pittsburgh.
But you're such good friends. It's nice you can source together. It's nice you can help each other out.
Yep.
That genuine love is there. I love it.
Yep, he's a good dude. He really is. If you guys aren't subscribed to Nate Everyday I'm Hustling, go show him some love. You'll see him this week in a collab video where he's talking about Amazon. So
He's an Amazon king.
yeah, I'll definitely do that, Aaron. Aaron said set an alarm on my phone next time. I'll do that.
Yeah, I got to do that for a lot of different things just because I got just so much going on. I need a secondary reminder.
Well, thank you for asking me to join, Anthony. I enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed having you on. I think you brought a lot of value to the show today.
Well, thank you.
We'll find another topic for you to come on and be
I
awesome.
want to add something here, Anthony, because you said how you missed that auction and you got tied up.
Yeah.
I actually we use an app on our phone, Cozy. It's free. They have the free version, and that's what we use. But I used to have a bad habit of missing out on online auctions because I'd forget when the end or
Yeah.
And I use the app, and I'll actually put my auctions in and have it notify me. You know how sometimes it's an hour before if I think it's going to be like a competitive bidding thing, or sometimes 15 minutes before, so I can make sure I'm there and focus on it. So you might, if you find that you're missing the endings of your auctions, check it out. It's Cozy, COZI.
Okay.
For anybody else. And what's also nice, like with the app, is you can log in on multiple devices. So like you and Ashley, she can have the app on her phone. You can have the app on your phone on the computer. And when you put in like a hospital appointment, a doctor's appointment or something, you can pick like who's going to this appointment, or if you're both going to go, me and it'll alert both of you. And
that's cool.
Yeah. That is pretty cool because
I'm going to download that right now.
I could set reminders for my wife, and my wife could set reminders for me without me having to do it or she having to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too for some of my auctions. Good morning, Crystal. How are you, honey?
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, it's great, and you can like, you know, I make doctor's appointments a couple of weeks out, and you know, you can set up reminders like to let you know the day before. So I'm like, okay, don't make any plans or schedule a pickup or something tomorrow because you got a doctor's appointment. Or it'll be like, oh yeah, I got to be in Marshfield for my doctor's appointment, which is an hour and a half away. So the day before, I'll start looking on Marketplace and stuff in that area so I can like.
That's smart. That's really smart.
That is smart.
Yeah, I'll have to incorporate that. You know what I think I'll do next time though? I think next time, like if we're on show, like we're doing a stream, I'll just pull it up for like the last few minutes, and like we'll be doing it together. That way, the chat can be like, bid it again, or like, oh, that's stupid. Don't bid on that. You know,
add it as a chat, like a window on your other, like, you know, as a user or whatever, so everyone can watch it on your phone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely have to incorporate that next time. Because, I'm going to be doing a lot more bidding on storage stuff because I really want to get into storage. I just need to be smart about it, and I want to ease my way in. So that's why I'm going to that's why I'm targeting like those easier to clean out, lighter weight units right now. So, but yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and shut it down for today. I appreciate everyone being here. Tomorrow we will be back on Tommy's channel.